Good evening, everyone, and welcome to 7 with Kevin Live. I'm Kevin Manor. I'm the Executive Director of Quad City Arts, where our mission is to enrich the quality of life in the Quad City region through the arts. Now, to do this, we work with hundreds of artists who work in our community, and their art community is impacted by these artists through their performances, public art installations, and gallery exhibitions. Now, our team has the added benefit of getting to work closer with these artists, which gives us the opportunity to learn more about them and their art. And we want to share that with you. And that is what 7 with Kevin is all about. So why 7 with Kevin? We named it after a monthly newsletter that I write. In that newsletter, I share 7 things. It ranges from things that I'm excited about, things that we are working on here at Quad City Arts, or things that I'm just interested in. So we created a list of 7 questions that fit that criteria. Basically, it's a little random, a little fun, and hopefully a little thought-provoking. Now, if you have not read that newsletter, you can sign up for it at our website, quadcityarts.com. Now, if you're tuning in live and have a question, go ahead and put that in the comment section. Tuning in live but don't have a question, still comment. Let us know where you are watching our broadcast from. Or let us know what your drink of choice is for tonight. Tonight, I'm enjoying a toddy from Theo's right here in Rock Island. If I'm being honest, I'm enjoying the toddy that I picked up this afternoon from Theo's right here in Rock Island. Now, I prefer mine with no milk. I think it's quite tasty, and I'm pretty sure that it's probably going to keep me up after this broadcast as well. But we're not here to talk about our great local drinks. We're here to talk with our great local artists. And tonight is an episode that is packed with up-and-coming artists, all from right here in the Quad Cities. And we are finally going to talk about our Quad City Arts Metro Arts Youth Apprenticeship Program. I say finally because we had to postpone after last week's crazy storm. But in a traditional year, last Thursday would have been our Metro Arts Showcase, where our apprentices are joined by family and friends, and they get to talk about the great work that they've been doing the past 5 weeks. This year, we're unable to meet in person, but we didn't want to miss out on getting to highlight the great work that these students have been working on. And we wanted to share that showcase experience with you. So since the summer of 2000, Metro Arts has provided area youth ages 15 to 21 with paid summer apprenticeships in various arts disciplines. For 5 weeks, area youth work together in groups to complete projects that enhance our community through the arts. Participants learn the artistic techniques and applications of their genre while developing personally and professionally. This year, we had 3 projects. 1 improv comedy team, and 2 mural teams. Now, unfortunately, we're unable to bring every member of the Metro Arts program on, so we'll just have a few members of the team tonight. Our first group has been working on a mural on the side of Baja's Classy Resale at 1516 6th Avenue in Moline. Now, let's welcome tonight's first guest. First, we've got lead artist Sarah Robb, and apprentices Michaela Smith and Sarah Dyer. Excellent. Welcome, everyone. And thank you for joining us on 7 with Kevin Live.
Thanks for having us.
Excellent. Well,
thanks for having us.
Well, before we jump into everything, I want to start with a couple of the basics. So, Michaela and Sarah, what year in school are you?
Oh.
Well, it looks like we might be having a little bit of a glitch there. Michaela and Sarah, can you hear us?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh,
We're both going to be seniors in high school at Davenport Central.
Excellent. And how long have you two been participating in the Metro Arts program?
Well, we've been participating for about 2 years, and we've done, I think, about 4 murals around.
Fantastic. So obviously this year's was in Moline. Which other ones have you both worked on?
So our first mural project was at Friendship Manor, and we did the inside. And then we did the street art project in Bettendorf. We did the Freight House mural in downtown Davenport, and then we did the Moline one with Sarah.
Yeah.
So you two have been quite busy. If I remember correctly, that street art one has a really great cascading cards at the Isle Casino, correct?
Oh yeah. That was really fun to do.
Excellent. Sarah, I'm not going to ask you the school question, but I am very curious. How long have you been? How long have you been with the Metro Arts program?
This year is year number 14, believe it or not. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
So Sarah, can you tell everyone how the mural portion of the Metro Arts program works?
Yeah, so basically we structure it. So the first week, we all meet and go through the design conceptualizing part of the mural project. So I generally have them break into at least a couple groups, if not 3, and they'll come up with multiple designs to present to the client. So we try to keep it real professional on that level, a little competitive. Then once the design is chosen by the client, then we move forward with sometimes priming, as we've all learned this summer, sometimes priming, and then transfer of the design drawing onto the wall, and then adding the color after that. And that's generally, we start that about the second week, and then it's a total of 5 weeks. So we're done at the end of that 5th week. Yep.
Wow, that's fantastic. So one of the things you touched on, professionalism as well as, just professionalism and creativity and those kind of things. One of the things that I always like to tell people is, what's the first step for these apprentices before they're even chosen? Like, they
have to. Well, yeah, they have to apply. That's the very first step, and then they're interviewed, and then hired. So that part has over the years has gotten extremely competitive. So let's say like this year we had, I don't know, 30 something applicants, but then there was only like 17 spots. Or I'm sorry, my math is wrong, 27 spots. But still it's like maybe 40 applicants. I don't remember how much it was, but there's always that pile of the people we have to say no to. But it makes it really competitive. But the fact that the age range is 15 to 21 gives them a lot of years, a lot of opportunity to continue to apply for the program. So it works out. It usually works out in the end for everyone.
Definitely. That's good. So I'm going to ask Michaela and Sarah. So obviously this year was a little bit different than your previous years. Can you talk about how this was different than last year's program?
Well, last year's we had to go Corona safe, and we had to wear masks and make sure we're like keeping our things separate from each other. And I think like from last year's and this year's, I think there wasn't much of a difference than just being Corona safe, but we still made great friends. We still learned a lot, and we're really happy.
What I think is cool about their experience is they were part of that guinea pig crew where we had the spring program. And so they were kind of like lab rats and experimenting with the first time we ever did spring. So that was during their normal school schedule, where now they got the full experience of generally what the summer program is, working those morning hours. So these two have really experienced all levels of the program at this point. So I think it's pretty cool.
Sarah, Michaela, do you have any favorite moment from this year that you'd like to share?
Yes, of course. I think one of my favorite moments was kind of toward the end. It was, I think, a couple of new apprentices. I don't know. We kind of gained like an all friendship group, and now we're all like happy friends. But anyway, it was Maggie and Kenneth, and Sarah Robb had a sign for them to finish the mural at the end with the QC Metro Art logo. And they don't really they were new to the program, so they're not really sure. They didn't really know about it, but then they were like, they were super excited to put the logo on the wall. They were fangirling. And we had never seen them come out of their shell that much ever. And we were all like, whoa.
It was hilarious. It was
It was so funny.
We're like, ah! I'm like, hey, great. I'm glad you're excited.
You know, I will say that the Moline group, it really seemed like you guys became really close friends. I remember at the ribbon cutting, and this picture is available on our Facebook page. There's a great picture that I don't know who decided of all of you looking like you're running in sequence, like across the mural.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just very clear that you guys were all like a very tight-knit group, which is always really fun to see. So,
yeah.
Speaking
it was fun. We all clicked.
Good. Speaking of the entire group, I did want to share this great photo because obviously it wasn't just you three who helped make this incredible mural happen. So, Sarah, would you mind just kind of going through and introducing the folks in that photo?
I absolutely will, but I don't ever remember last names.
That's fine.
Okay, so we've got Curtis there, and I'll just start from the left of the picture. We got Curtis, and then Kenneth there with the glasses. Cameron right there in the middle. There's Maggie sitting next to Cameron. Who is laying down there? Oh no, that's Rebecca in the middle. That's Cameron laying down. And then we got Shelby on the right, and then there's the three of us at the top, me, Michaela, and Sarah. It's that picture. It's so good. It's a cute one.
So now that we've gotten a quick glimpse of what the mural looked like towards the end there, I'd like to talk a little bit about the design process. So I know that there was, if I'm remembering correctly, there were a couple designs that were presented to Pam, and I believe she was working with Renew Moline as well during that presentation, correct?
Yes.
Michaela and Sarah, we guys talk about a little bit about the design process, and I'm curious if you guys worked on this particular design as well.
So it was really interesting because Sarah was in the different section of our design group. So she did a design with her year 4.
Yeah, so we split up into 2 groups of 4, and my group designed a different, completely design for the mural, and then we presented this design to Michaela's group and my design, and we talked it over in a Zoom call, and then she ended up choosing this design for our mural in Moline.
Yep. And like throughout the design process, we all kind of help like sharing ideas with each other in our groups, like of what would work and like what ideas we want to incorporate, or sometimes we like come up with words we want to show and like have meaning behind for our murals. Yeah.
What was the inspiration for this particular design?
Well, the inspiration was kind of, I think it was Curtis who came up with a brilliant name for to be It's a New Day, to show like hope and like a new beginning, and like, you know, it's kind of like you wake up every morning and you have like a new start. And also we wanted to incorporate some of the cityscape, and then also the hills of Moline, and like we have some paths that could represent like the paths and bike paths, and we wanted to incorporate some water on below, and yeah, and we also wanted to incorporate music because that's very in our community.
Excellent. And so you, Sarah, you sort of touched on, you know, that this was presented to the client through a Zoom call. In traditional year, we would have all met in person and done a big presentation.
Right.
But how was, how was it presenting this not only over a Zoom call, but just, to Pam and Renew Moline?
I mean, it went really smooth with this group, with the Moline crew. I mean, it was very, very quick. Everybody's well organized. I mean, the only thing, of course, that I missed out, and I'm sure they missed out on, is that when you see the design in person, it's a totally different ballpark. So we did the best we could with taking, digital images and then sending out an email prior to the meeting for them to view. So they already knew what they were going to look at, and then we had the discussion. And we had a representative from each group. I think it was Curtis was for this design group. And then he did his own little presentation with the meaning of the mural. I mean, pretty much what they described about it. It's a new day. So yeah, it went really smoothly. It was just different. You know, we all know. Zoom, zoom, zoom. All about Zoom. So yeah.
Yeah, I think that for me, the design phase is one of my favorite phases for the Metro Arts program, and not just seeing the creativity of the Metro Arts students, but also it's that presentation aspect. Being able to, present in front of a client is a very important aspect for an artist, but also, that flip side of being able to take some constructive criticism, but also, being able to incorporate maybe the ideas that you might have missed a little bit. Was there any of that in that Zoom call? Anything that they wanted to tweak from this design to the final aspect?
Yeah, and you said it perfect. I mean, because I love when they get the opportunity to talk about the art effectively too, because that's so important. And I'm not saying you have to sell yourself an artist, but you actually kind of do, right? Because the art world is very competitive. So, when we were in the Zoom meeting, it was all a very positive conversation. They asked a lot of questions that they had to answer about different things, but they did not make the decision live. They actually, Pam went off on her own and said, I'm gonna talk to my husband. It's his wall too. And, think about what it is that we want. So when Pam came back, there was a few things we had to tweak. And that generally does happen, just a few things here or there. We never really have to completely redesign, which, because that takes too much time, but they'll say, no, just make a couple little, adjustments and everything's good to go. So that's how it worked for this project.
Excellent. And Sarah, were you the Sarah Dyer? Were you the one presenting from the other team, or were you? Were you on that Zoom call or no?
Yeah, so I was in the Zoom call, but Maggie, who was in my group, was the one that was presenting. I was just kind of a bystander, but it was really cool to watch Maggie and Curtis present, because there are things that I hadn't thought about from their design that I kind of was like, oh, that's really cool in his presentation. Kind of understanding more about what It's a New Day means and more about how they incorporated certain aspects, because the whole design process is really fun. Like, we have our own groups, but we also work together, and it's cool to see all these different art styles come together from different people and incorporate different things. And it was a really cool Zoom call.
Very cool. So Sarah, Michaela, I'm curious. So it's your second year in Metro Arts. How did you find out about the program, and really, how did you get involved?
I think originally I found out by at school. I think I knew a couple friends that were doing it, and I was like, they were talking about it and they were saying how cool and fun it was, and was like, well, I want to do it. And Sarah over here, she's like, we're attached at the hip, so we were like, well, we should do it together. And yeah, now we're here.
The first year that we had heard about it, we weren't old enough. We were like, gosh darn it, if only we were a little bit older. But the second year we were on the ball and made sure we got our application in and our recommendations and made it in. So.
Excellent. Were you both as interested in the art world as you seem to be now, or did that kind of get cultivated through this program?
I was pretty interested in the art world. Like I was excited to I didn't really know what was going on in the community, and I was like, whoa, it's so cool to have this opportunity. But throughout the years that I've been in Metro Arts, I've learned so much about different art styles and different perspectives. The information that I have now is so crazy. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited, and I just keep learning more.
Michaela, I'm gonna take that snippet and tell everybody this is the Metro Arts program. This
right.
You perfectly hit what I love about the program. So.
Yeah.
All right. I am curious. Obviously, all three of you are very interested in art, and obviously painting. Do you guys have other what are your other hobbies outside of painting?
Ooh.
You go first, Sarah.
No, I was just gonna say, I've got this thing. I'm trying to read more because I love to read, and so, but Netflix and Hulu and all that kind of pulls me. I love film, so it kind of. But because I don't know, it's strange because my career is my hobby, so it's hard for me to do anything but that. I'm blessed in that way where when my day finishes, I could still have the desire to go home and create designs or create some artwork. So that also is my hobby.
That's good.
Yeah.
My hobby kind of is I do a lot of horse riding. That's fun, and I'm really into photography.
Excellent.
We both play piano, and we're both in our school orchestra. Michaela's in the Quad City Youth Symphony. I'm not, but we're both in our school orchestra. I play the violin, and she plays the cello.
I would play a little bit of ukulele.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The better question is, what don't they do?
Wow, that is absolutely incredible. So, all right, before we move on to our 7 with Kevin lightning round, do any of you have one last thing that you would like to share? Anything that you'd like to say?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all.
All right, no shout outs to mom or friends? Or...
Oh yeah. Hi mom.
Hi mom.
Oh, we got to say hello to the rest of our crew if they're watching.
Oh yeah. Hi everyone.
There it is. Hi guys. Wish you were here.
Excellent. Well, that's right. We do have a quick little snippet here to show kind of the design process here, as well as some of the beginning phases. So Sarah Michaela, if you have anything you want to narrate during this, I'm going to turn this over to you.
Oh, look at it go. This is so cool. Remember the avocado? Look at the giant avocado, everybody.
So cool.
That is really cool.
The avocado.
Oh, yeah.
I had a nightmare about that avocado, so we changed it to the hills instead. We were trying to make it a guitar. And it wasn't a guitar, it was a giant avocado. Oh my goodness, there we are designing at Schwiebert Park. There's Curtis with all his hair.
Oh my goodness.
Before he cut it all off. Kenneth.
Oh yeah. Kenneth.
A man of few words, but when he says something, it's really valuable.
Kenneth.
Oh, there's Sarah.
Oh, there's me.
Rebecca. She's our senior apprentice. Every year each group gets a senior apprentice that's a little bit more experienced and older, probably like a college student age. Oh my goodness. There you are up top. Get up there.
Well, there I am up there.
Those buildings are so amazing. I love the way they interpreted the buildings because they could have just made them structures, but when they started adding all these design elements and all the colors to it, I'm like, it was just so dynamic. And you can see on the right there, we did end up putting musical notes on that right side, but Pam did not want that big, huge white staff streaming through there. So that's a good example of how we changed the design a little bit. Yeah. To meet the company needs. Yeah.
Yeah, Pam, at the ribbon cutting, Pam said she was talking about how it started out with the big, with all the music notes at the top. She said it seemed a bit too prominent for her, but she said that the way you guys incorporated it afterwards, she absolutely loved, because she said it gave the feeling of like being in a bustling city where you always hear like a little bit of music and you don't quite know where it's coming from. She's like, that's the feeling that she gets looking at it. And I was like, I totally understood, and I was like, I could not have put that in words myself. So that was,
she put it beautifully, and Sarah actually did those notes and did that whole area. So, got to give her credit for it.
Well done. All right. All right. So, keeping with our 7 with Kevin theme, I am going to give our first lightning round to a group. So this will be interesting. So we're going to kind of go around the screen. I'm just going to call out somebody to go first. We're going to do, everybody's going to answer all the same questions, but I'm not going to make the same person go first each time, so you guys can't all steal Michaela's answers or Sarah's.
Oh, man.
So I know. So no pressure. Sarah, Rob, we're going to start with you. What are you currently watching on Netflix or TV?
I just finished binging The Americans.
Interesting. Michaela.
I don't know. I'm too busy to watch television.
I would believe that. Sarah Dyer.
I like watching any doctor show like Grey's Anatomy. I really like Grey's Anatomy right now.
Excellent. All right. Sarah, we're going to stick with you. Star Wars or Star Trek?
I better say Star Trek, or someone, my other half would be very upset. He's a Trekkie.
Sarah Dyer, Star Wars or Star Trek?
I have not seen Star Trek, so I'm going to have to say Star Wars.
Me too.
All right, I'll take it. And starting with Michaela, where is the best pizza in the Quad Cities?
I missed it.
Okay. Where is the best pizza in the Quad Cities?
Well, I'm not sure, but today when we were painting, this really nice guy named Jeff at the Friendship Manor mural gave us huckleberries. Oh, is that in the Quad Cities? Oh,
Yes, it is.
Yep.
That's a good one. You're right here in Rock Island.
It was really good.
Nice. Sarah Dyer.
Yeah.
Same question.
I don't know how you pronounce it. I think it's Lopias.
Low pies? Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another good one.
Excellent. And Sarah Rob.
Oh, I'm going to go old school and specifically taco pizza from Happy Joe's.
Very nice. That's a good answer. That's good. Sarah Dyer, what is your favorite book?
Oh.
I don't know who the author is, but it's called Sophie's World or anything by Dan Brown. I love Dan Brown.
Oh, yeah, he's a good
Very
one.
Interesting. Sarah Rob, same question.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to go with the first book, had a big influence on me, and it was a book about Gandhi from a peace and nonviolence class I took.
Excellent.
And I stole it in the class.
And Michaela.
Well, I don't read that much, but I read The Street Cat Named Bob. That's a pretty good book.
Excellent. Michaela, we're going to stick with you. Where is your go-to place for inspiration?
Like anywhere. Oh, well, so Sarah's great inspiration. She's just we go all I think maybe the internet. Outside.
Sarah Dyer, same question.
I'm gonna say I like to be outside too. We're both in the Creative Arts Academy, and when we were in middle school, we got to go downtown by the river to paint sometimes, and that was really fun. So anywhere outside.
Excellent. Sarah Rob, same question.
Oh, 100% the river. Walking along the river. Yep.
Perfect. Sarah Rob, I'm only giving this one to you. What profession other than the one you currently have would you like to attempt?
Oh my gosh. My mom will love this answer. A chef. Because I cannot cook. I
would have never guessed.
So bad.
All right. Final question. Final question for all three of you. If you could have dinner with any artist, living or dead, who would it be? And whoever wants to go first can go first.
Oh, I'd have to.
I'll go first. I
first.
would love to sit down and talk with Leonardo da Vinci.
Yes, good choice. All right, who's next?
Go ahead, Michaela.
I don't know, but I think Diego Valaquez. Yeah.
a tough one for me. Kids split in the middle like Diego Rivera Grant. No, I'd probably go with Brad.
Perfect. I was going to let you split in the middle, so I mean, you know. All right.
What about you, Kevin?
Yeah.
Wow. Actually, I can tell you this. My go-to would be actor Terry Crews. I am absolutely fascinated with Terry Crews. One, just the acting, but he used to be a football player. He is also an artist. Has designed furniture. Just kind of like a little bit of everything. So
yeah. That's a good one.
So
that's cool.
A good one.
Thank you for asking. Yeah. So
Woo, put him on the spot.
I know. I was like, I'm the one asking questions here. All right. Well, Sarah, and Michaela, I think I could continue to talk to you for at least another 30 minutes, but we have 2 other groups we have to get to. So thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. And, thank you for all of your hard work on that very impressive mural. So thanks again.
Thank you. We had a bunch of fun. Bye.
Bye. All right. Now, anyone can see their final product by visiting it at 1516 6th Avenue. It is the courtyard between Baja's Classy Resale and La Primavera. Next up is the Metro Arts Comedy Improv team. Every year, their final performance is at the Metro Arts Showcase, and we didn't want you to miss out. So here is a 5-minute excerpt from their recent performance. Well, it looks like we are having a little bit of technical difficulties with our sound on our video here, but well, it's definitely interesting. This was from our performance at, or from their performance at Theo's Java House, where I'm drinking my toddy from this evening. It was actually their only performance that they were able to do this year. But in a traditional year, Metro Arts Comedy Improv performs around the Quad Cities in coffee shops, libraries, and community centers. This year, however, they were only able to do one public performance, but improv isn't just about making people laugh. These students learn the art of public speaking, building confidence, and empathy. They just have the added benefit of learning all that while being funny. So please welcome our lead artist for the Metro Arts Improv Comedy team, Aaron Marr, apprentice Samantha Skinner, apprentice Taylin Devers, and apprentice Teddy White. So, well, hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
I will tell you that even without sound, I still enjoyed watching you. So, for our audience, I will tell, I was actually able to be at that performance at Theo's, and it was really great seeing them perform. It was a bit odd watching improv comedy or performers in general completely with their face blocked. I have to imagine it was also weird for all of you. But before we get into that, I want to start with some basic questions, especially for our apprentices. We'll start with Teddy. Teddy, what year in school are you, and how many years have you been in the Metro Arts program?
I just graduated high school from Bettendorf High School, and I'm going to be a freshman at Iowa State University this coming fall. And this is my second year in the improv Metro Arts group and Metro Arts in general.
Excellent. Well, one, congratulations on going to school, and two, who are you holding right there? So.
This is Phoebe. She kind of likes to join in on things. She used to join in on Zoom calls a lot, and my dog Tess did too, but I think she's downstairs, so.
Excellent. Sorry, she looked right at the camera and
She's the good cat.
excellent. Sam, we'll move to you. Same questions. What year in school and how many years with Metro Arts?
I go to United Township. I'm going to be a sophomore, and this is my first year at Metro Arts.
Fantastic. And Taylin?
This is my second year at Metro Arts. I'm a sophomore in college. So, yeah.
Excellent. And so second year with Metro Arts, is it second year with improv, or were you in a different program? Improv. Fantastic. Yeah. Excellent. Well, Aaron, I won't ask you the school question, but how long have you been with the Metro Arts program?
This is my first year, well, second year as lead artist. I helped out last year with Patrick Adamson, so we were co-lead artists last year. But I was also a participant in the improv program in 2002, so a couple years ago. And then I was senior apprentice with the jazz improv program in 2000.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, good. And now you've come full circle. Now you're teaching the future. So
it's super fun. And if you'd asked me when I was a participant, like, oh, do you think you'll be teaching this someday? I would have been like, maybe not, but I'm glad I got the opportunity.
Well, good. Well, Aaron, can you tell everybody a little bit about the comedy improv program? Maybe how it traditionally would work, and some of the changes that you had to adapt with for this year.
Sure. Well, improv comedy is learning how to come up with being funny on the spot and performing unscripted shows. So generally there's an outline for a game or a scene, and then you get a suggestion from the audience to inspire what happens in the scene. So this year was a little bit different. I'm thankful that we were able to happen, number one. Usually we have about 9 or so apprentices, and so we have a smaller but more tight-knit group, I would say, this year. And the benefit of having a smaller group too is that our performers were able to get more reps in on the different games and skills, more stage time, as it was, because they were playing all of the games all the time. We practiced in Schwiebert Park, and everyone wore masks outside, so we were COVID safe as well. And it was, like you said, with the Theo's performance, you can't see facial expressions, but something I noticed as kind of host at Theo's there is you also couldn't see the facial expressions of the audience either. So you don't know if they're like grimacing or kind of giving you a side eye or something like that, or if they're just grinning from ear to ear. So you have to kind of take other body language cues as well. But the apprentices did a fantastic job of being able to emote and be expressive without necessarily seeing half of your face.
Wow. Yeah, that was something that I didn't consider until being in that audience and going, oh, this adds a whole new relationship to being able to read an audience, to know what's going over well. So
Exactly.
Congratulations to you three for being able to navigate that. So actually my next question actually flows right into that. Sam, what was it like performing while wearing a mask, but also we'll use that. What was it like having an audience also wearing a mask?
Well, I'm like a very expressive person with my face mainly, so it was kind of hard to emote correctly of like what the mood of like the scene was, but I feel like that gave me a bit more freedom to say it, because I could, use my actions a bit more extra. I could be a bit more expressive with my movements.
Excellent. I'm actually going to give the same question to both Teddy and Talon. So, Teddy, we'll start with you. Same thing. What was it like performing with a mask? All right, we'll go to Talon instead.
I was about to say, same as Sam. Yeah, you have to use more of your movements, and you have to also dictate your words more. So that was very new, because I'm so bad at dictating. I blur my words together.
Interesting. Teddy, looks like we've got you back. Same question. What was it like performing with the mask?
It was a little bit more difficult. It's not really what I'm used to. It's really hard to tell other people's emotions with that constraint, that like mask over their face. And it gets really hot really quickly. But obviously you have to keep it on. So you just gotta kind of suck it up and deal with it. But that's okay.
Excellent. Talon, was there a standout moment during this year?
I have to say our first ever performance this year was a huge standout, because that was the first time we got to like perform as such a small group, and I feel like it went very well, and I'm very happy. So
it did. Were you three exhausted after that? Because I was tired watching you.
I was full of energy, weirdly.
Yeah. Well, good. Teddy, did you learn something that surprised you during the improv comedy season that maybe didn't have to do with comedy?
Just, I guess I learned more about long form improv in general. It's something that I'm very inexperienced with. I don't really do long form improv, or I guess I haven't really done it before, and we explored that a little bit. So there was that, which was really, really cool.
Excellent. Now, Aaron, I'm going to kind of put you guys a little bit on the spot. I know that improv via a live stream can be a little difficult. As you can see, it's also sometimes difficult for videos. So I was wondering if there's a warm up or maybe a little game that we could, or that not we, I'm not. I'm going to remove myself from
Never
that
too
late. That, maybe give our audience a little bit of flavor of something that you guys have done over this year.
Sure. We have some pun-related games to perform for you tonight. What is called Jimmy the Pigeon, and the setup for Jimmy the Pigeon is Did you hear the one about Jimmy the Pigeon? That everyone says?
No.
He flew the coop. And so these are all intentionally bad jokes.
Excellent.
So let's see here. What's an item in your refrigerator?
Oh, is that for me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, perfect. Cottage cheese.
All right. We'll go.
Sorry.
Jimmy, the dairy products. If you got one, just go for it.
Did you hear what Jimmy the dairy product said to his friend who went through a breakup?
No!
You're cheddar off without him.
Did you hear about Jimmy the Milk's new gym routine?
No!
It's working really well for him. He's skim now.
Did you hear why Jimmy the Milk went to the doctor?
Why?
No.
He lacked toes.
Did you hear about why Jimmy the Milk got fired from his job?
No!
No.
He only gave 2%.
Did you hear what Jimmy the Cheese said when people asked how life was going?
No.
Life is gooda.
Did you hear about why people don't like Jimmy the Cheese?
No!
No.
They think he's a monster.
That was...
Awesome. All right, let's switch it up. Got my random word generator here. How about Jimmy the Captain? Jimmy the Captain.
Did you hear the one about Jimmy the Captain's favorite letter?
No!
No.
It was the C.
Did you hear why Jimmy the Captain wasn't able to get into the movies?
No!
It was R-rated.
Did you hear about Jimmy the Captain?
No!
No.
Well, neither did I.
Did you hear how Jimmy the Captain likes to communicate?
No!
Eye to eye.
Did you hear about Jimmy the Captain's obsession with Netflix?
No.
They say he was hooked.
Did you hear about Jimmy the Captain?
No!
No.
Well, neither did I, but I know that you're gonna regret it.
Did you hear about Jimmy the Captain's favorite device?
No!
The iPhone.
Did you hear about Jimmy the Captain's favorite song?
No!
No.
He's hooked on a feeling.
I have
Oh
the
my
best
gosh.
job in the world.
I was gonna say this is fantastic. Well, thank you for that. I almost feel bad for the next group that has to follow this. This is I'm curious, outside of improv and we'll say performing in general, what are your guys' hobbies? We can start with Talon.
Quick, get a hobby.
My favorite hobby is hanging out with my family, acting, modeling, shopping, because I'm a girly girl. Check me out. And watching videos of Hunter Hayes. Woohoo!
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea who Hunter Hayes is, so sorry.
Well, thanks to Taylin, we all know. But
Yeah.
in our group.
I'm gonna be Googling that later. So, Teddy, to you, hobbies outside of improv.
Well, during quarantine, I started to crochet a lot more. So this is the scarf that I'm currently making.
Wow.
It's quite long. It still has a bit more to go. But that's what I've been doing recently. And, packing for Iowa State and helping with stuff for my grad party coming up. So,
Fantastic. Sam, same question.
I mainly, it's mainly just like extracurricular activities. So like, color guard, band, theater. What else do I do? Oh yeah, I paint. That's pretty cool. I play a few instruments. That's also pretty cool.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, I also do speech team and student council.
Oh, I have to ask, speech team, what is your event or events?
My primary event is humorous interpretation, but I know that that our coach wants me to be double entered into I think either a humorous duet act, an HDA or a DDA.
Excellent. I was a DDA kid in high school,
Okay.
so excellent. Aaron, same question.
I enjoy a lot of musical activities. My regular job is teaching band to Assumption High School students. So I also play electric bass in a fun cover band. And I like to hang out with cats, and mostly my cats, and run.
Excellent. What's your band's name?
Well, you see, the name changes every time we have a performance, but currently the name of the band is Commander Clam.
Excellent.
Kind of a mouse rat type feel to it.
Yeah. All right. Do any of you have anything that you would like to share before we move on to our lightning round 7 with Kevin?
Hi, Mom.
Oh yeah, hi Mom. Hi Mom and Dad.
Excellent. All right. Moving on to our lightning round. Much like our previous group, I'm going to jump around the screen here, and we're going to do this as quick as we can. Taylin, we're going to start with you. What are you currently watching on Netflix or TV?
I'm rewatching New Girl on Netflix.
Ooh, good choice. Good choice. Teddy, same question.
I'm currently rewatching the Supernatural series and Face Off, and I'm also watching Community, but don't tell my cousin because it'll prove her right. And I don't want to do that.
So hopefully she's not watching, but
I don't think
she is. Aaron, same question.
I just finished binging the new Babysitter's Club series. So I read the books when I was little, and I watched the older movies and stuff like that. And so here I am, like crying, and in my living room, it's like, this is so good. But I just finished that.
Excellent. Sam, same question.
I'm rewatching Avatar: The Last Airbender because I cannot get over that show because it's so good, and it's just a continuous cycle now. Just keep rewatching the show just to feel everything again,
Fantastic. Next one's a real easy one. Aaron, we'll start with you. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Teddy?
Star Wars, of course.
Sam?
Star Wars. I've never seen Star Trek.
All right. Taylin?
Star Wars.
All right.
We're all correct.
Teddy, we'll go with you. Starting with this one, where is the best pizza in the Quad Cities?
That's a great question to ask someone with celiac disease. I can't have pizza. a lot of the GF pizza kind of in the QCA, I gotta be honest, I don't really like. And my favorite place actually burned down a couple years ago, which is really sad. But if you want an answer from me, the Papa Murphy's take and bake pizza is usually what we get, and that's okay.
I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll tell you, my wife also has celiac, so I understand that struggle via her. So,
Fun.
Taylin, same question.
I don't really do much with pizza, so.
Ooh, Taylin.
So
Wow.
sorry.
All right.
I have an excuse.
All right, then I'm not even going to accept an answer from you. We're moving on to Sam. So.
Godfathers. They're cool.
Excellent. Aaron.
Blow pies.
Ooh, excellent choice. All right. Sam, what is your favorite book?
What are books? When was the last time you even read a book?
Barely you kids need to go back. Like schools.
Last book I read was Lord of the Flies. Does that count?
That does count. It's a great book. Aaron, same question.
In high school, I read Orlando by Virginia Woolf, and I really liked it.
Excellent. Teddy.
I actually have 3 favorite books, or I guess book series. The Dragon Runner book by Cornelia Funk has always been one of my favorites, and also the Harry Potter series, and also the Maximum Ride series. Those are all really great.
Excellent. Taylin.
I definitely agree with the Maximum Ride series. It's great. But my favorite book series overall is definitely the House of Night series.
Interesting. All right. Let's go with Teddy. We'll start with you. Where is your go-to place for inspiration?
It's not really a place because I can access this stuff anywhere, but I like to look through old things that I've done before, things I've written or drawn. And sometimes I kind of like to rehash those ideas or maybe create something entirely new from them. So that's cool.
Excellent. Taylin.
Every year, my family and I go up to Michigan in our cabin. So I would say that because it's really quiet there and you get away from the internet. So
that is very nice. Sam.
My backyard.
Excellent. Aaron.
When I go running, I'm usually running on the Duck Creek bike path. So usually if it's kind of quiet and there's not a lot of people around, that's kind of when I can zone out and think about things.
Excellent. All right. Aaron, we'll start with you. And what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh, boy. I'd like to own a cat cafe.
Ooh, good choice.
That'd be
Excellent.
awesome.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to alter this question for the rest of you. Once you're finished with school, what do you hope to be doing? Teddy, we'll start with you.
Well, I'm going to Iowa State to double major in Spanish and theater and then get a minor in women and gender studies. So I'm hoping to do something with each of those. Maybe I'll start my own theater company in a Spanish speaking country. That would be really cool.
Excellent. Sam.
I would say probably after college, I would start a small career for stage acting and starting directing at local theaters would probably be pretty nifty.
Excellent. All right. And then our last question is, if you could have dinner with any artist, living or dead, who would it be? We'll start with Sam.
Probably Taylor Swift. Just being basic.
All right, Teddy.
Freddie Mercury, hands down.
Good choice. Taylin.
I think my team already knows the answer to this one. Hunter Hayes, my future husband, whether he recognizes it or not.
And Aaron.
In the realm of like performing artist, Jeff Goldblum, I think would be amazing.
Yes.
I love his Disney series.
Wait, can I change mine? Barbara Streisand.
All right. I think these are all solid answers. Again, Talon, I haven't had time to Google. So, but after this, we'll find out. So, excellent. Well, we do have a couple photos from some of your from some of the stuff in the park that we do want to share real quick before we let you go. And if anybody remembers what you were doing here, I would love to know. So
I think this was Try That On for Size. So it's a game where one person does an action, like you get a suggestion for an active activity. This is probably dancing. And then the other performers also copy it, but then they switch from dancing to a different like activity with that same movement. This here was Styles Replay. We had done this scene. I remember there was definitely Shakespeare involved, but I can't remember off the top of my head the other two styles. But you have a setup scene, and then you play in a setup scene again, but you add a twist to it. So like one of our suggestions was Shakespeare. So we played the scene as if it took place in Shakespeare's time. So it's really fun to play.
Excellent. And then this photo was from your final and first performance at Theo's.
Yeah.
Which was like again, it was a lot of fun. So, well, thank you all for joining me here with Seven with Kevin. You guys have been an absolute delight to talk with. So, Aaron, Teddy, Sam, Talon, thank you so much, and thank you for all your hard work and hanging out with us this year. So, thanks.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So thanks again to our Metro Arts Improv group. We are having a little bit of technical difficulties. We do have a couple of videos. We will be posting those on our Facebook page after 7 with Kevin tonight. So you will be able to see some clips from their improv performance at Theo's. But again, like to thank the Metro Arts Improv team. Our final group is our other mural group. The mural is being painted on the maintenance building at Friendship Manor. It is located on 21st Avenue, just off of 11th Street in Rock Island. When we start sharing photos on this one, you will realize that this is a large project. You will also notice it is not entirely complete. That is because this one is a two-parter. In 2 weeks, you'll see another team finishing up the side facing 11th Street. This project was originally meant to be led by Heidi Sallows, but like all things in 2020, we were forced to pivot. But thankfully, Sarah Robb was interested, willing, and able to take on another project at the last minute. It is also worth mentioning that Heidi Sallows continued to help through the design phase, and she's been a valued member of the Metro Arts team for a while now. So we do thank her, and we completely understand that things happen this year. So let me introduce you to some of the members of the Rock Island mural team. We have welcoming back our lead artist, Sarah Robb, and apprentice, Maddie Vogt.
Matter. Yay!
Hey. All right. Well, so I'm gonna once again we'll start from the beginning. Maddie, what year in school are you, and how many years have you been in Metro Arts?
I'm a freshman at Scott Community College, and I've been in the program for 3 years now. This would be my third year.
Excellent.
I thought you were a professional freshman.
It's weird saying I'm a freshman again, that's for sure.
Yeah, fair enough. You're doing great.
Excellent. Maddie, have all 3 of those years been in a mural group, or have you been in any other group during that time?
They were all murals. I've worked only with murals. I did do like 4 or 5 in that amount of time though, so it feels like I was a part of more groups.
Excellent. Do you remember any of your other projects outside of the one you're finishing up here in Rock Island?
my first one was at Genesis East Hospital in Davenport, and that was like my first one. It was a great experience to have for like my first one because it was somewhat indoors, so it was kind of cool. Then the next year I worked on a Rock Island project at Martin Luther King Jr. Center, and the next one we did was at the Freight House, where we painted the doors that hadn't been painted already, and we tried to incorporate like things that were like in the Freight House, you know. And then that spring, I also did a mural in Bettendorf, the Mississippi Mermaid. I can't. It's on. I don't.
Lincoln Road, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've been in part. You are actually. Yeah. There's a. That's a great list of projects. Yeah.
I like to
and they're
think so.
all really impressive. So I will say the one of my favorites is the one at the Martin Luther King Center, and I also love the Freight House ones mostly because I think Sarah was able to be the beginning or be on both those projects that started that and then wrapped it up. But it was a nice cohesive design. So yeah, I just enjoyed that it fed off the original design but was still very new. So
that was so exciting because Carmen and I for years, Carmen used to be you, Kevin. For years, we were like, you got to paint more of those doors. And so when we got that invite, I was ecstatic. I'm like, yes, it's happening. So I'm sure Maddie.
It was. So Maddie, kind of the same questions that we were talking about with the first group. How was this year different, from your previous experiences?
Well, obviously with the COVID stuff, like we had to wear masks, and I mean, that wasn't a big deal, and we had to really use our own water buckets and things like that. But the biggest change was probably the size of the mural because we had to prime it all and paint it all, and that was way different. I've never worked on such a big project.
Yeah. Again, for those who haven't seen it, it's the entire maintenance building. I mean, completely going to be wrapped, and we're going to show the design, so you'll see that it is quite impressive. Maddie, do you have a favorite moment from this year?
Okay, so one time, I had finished with my palette. It still had a little bit of green on it though, and I don't know, Shelby, the senior apprentice, was acting up, so I said, I'm gonna paint your entire face green, and she said, do it. So I did, and she was a beautiful shade of like Shrek green the rest of the day.
I got a picture of it. The picture, I should have sent it to you guys. We could be showing it right now. It is absolutely hilarious. She's like looking off to the side, and her face is. Remember when she wouldn't turn around, Maddie? And I was like, "There's something going on here."
Yes.
She kept painting. Then she finally turned around, and it was like, oh my god, what's going on?
She gave me such a menacing look.
It was hilarious. It was good times. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Much like with the last group, I do want to take a moment to recognize the entire group because it is a group project. Obviously, it takes quite a few people to make a project like this happen, and it'll take another 10 to 12 to wrap up as well. So here is the group here. Sarah, do you want to do an introduction around there?
Yeah, we'll start on the right here. That's Liam. Then we've got Finn is the one being carried there by Chloe. And then there's someone behind me. I'm assuming is that Shelby back there hiding? Who is that?
The one. Do you mean the one holding Finn?
No, the one that's behind my head. I think that's Shelby.
I think that is Shelby. Yeah.
And then Maggie's back there against the wall, and then up front there we've got Casey, and then Karis. And then I think Maddie, I don't think you were there that day, maybe, but we'll pretend Maddie's right back behind Karis.
She's right off on this side over here. So
she's right there.
Yeah.
That's where I would be, for sure.
Right.
Excellent. Now, I do want to talk about the design. We just set it up just a moment ago. We'll pull up that back up on the screen here. this design is in a couple different phases. So we'll talk about kind of the first phase, the side with the hot air balloons and the in the gazebo. So Maddie or Maddie, is this one of the designs that you worked on?
Yeah. So in Sarah's group specifically, we split up, and the other group was working with Heidi, and we had half the group working with Sarah. And then she split that group in half, and she had Liam and Maggie work on the other side of the mural, and this side of the mural was designed by me, Chloe, and Casey.
Excellent. Would you, what was your kind of inspiration, or maybe some of the words for the design that, helped come up with this, this design here?
Serenity, nature, just like a very calm, very beautiful setting. Yeah. Those were like some of the words we were really coming up with.
Excellent. Yeah, you can definitely feel that from this. So now Jeff Condit at Friendship Manor is a great guy, super energetic. I mean, just a delight to be around. When he looked at this project, it wasn't just for Friendship Manor. He viewed this, and still does, as a project for the entire neighborhood. And as such, he wanted to invite members of the church that's across the street from the building, someone from the city of Rock Island, and of course, members of the Friendship Manor team to be in on this presentation. So how was presenting for a group that size and not being in the same room, being on Zoom?
I wasn't there, but I can say that I definitely heard a lot from it. It was a lot of people talking at once at first, and then there was some confusion about like what the meeting was about, because they thought that this was them telling us what they wanted, and we had thought it was for our designs, like we were finished. So there was some miscommunication, but in the end we got the job done. So
excellent. And Sarah, obviously you were in that meeting.
Yeah.
How was that? I mean, because it's a large group, but also, I mean, it kind of encompasses exactly what public art is. I mean, it's for the community.
Right. I mean, it was exciting that all those individuals were able to be involved, but it was a lot. I mean, and with the structure of the Zoom meetings, we had one person. I was like, Jeff, you're going to have to be in charge, and people are going to need to mute until it's their turn to talk. It's just address people. But the input, I think, because of so many people, it was the longest presentation meeting I've ever been in my entire life. But the input that we got was incredible, and that's all that matters. So I was able to come back to the group and have a list of things that we're going to, restructure, redesign, to make both the Olivet Church, Friendship Manor, and the community as happy as possible. So it all worked out very well.
Excellent. What we've got up on our screen here, as we had mentioned that this is a two-parter and a very large project, what is scrolling across the screen right now is mostly the side that'll be facing the 11th Street, and is what the second group will primarily be focusing on. Sarah or Maddie, can you describe some of the differences between the two sides, and maybe some of the differences in inspiration there?
Well,
go ahead, Maddie. Yep, go ahead.
I know that Jeff had told us he was just really interested in having the one facing Friendship Manor to be like a very natural, beautiful scene, and he wanted something that was more urban, a little bit more abstract on this side, kind of like a quilt vibe I'm getting. But yeah,
it was definitely because the way he interpreted to me in our first initial meeting about design was that he wanted that side to really speak to the community as a whole. And it's so right there on that main road as you're passing by. So you got the two worlds merging together as you come around that corner. So it was exciting that he wanted that, because it was quite a challenge for them throughout the design process. And that's why we end up splitting my group into two groups, just to kind of let's focus on this part, then let's focus on this part. So it was a challenge, but overall, I think it's just going to be dynamic. It's going to be massive. It's going to be awesome. Yeah.
Excellent. We actually just had a question come in on the Facebook from Deb. She wanted to know a little bit more about who comes up with the design. So, Sarah, can you talk about maybe that initial design meeting and then the initial design meeting with the client, and then how you translate that meeting to the apprentices and what happens in that process?
Yeah, absolutely. So prior to Metro starting, I will meet with the client and have a conversation with them, because generally the client will know what they want with words, and then so kind of they give me a list of things. So Jeff talked about serenity and calmness on that one side, and then he talked about diversity and inclusivity on the other side, and being more urban. So he gave me these lists of words, and so our very first day meeting, we discussed all those things. And so when the groups actually broke apart and started designing, they had a clear idea of what the client really wanted. It always makes it a lot easier for our creative purposes to have that list. So basically, we're just trying to meet all the needs of the client, what it is they want to see. So our job is to come up with a visual perspective of what is coming out of their head, with the words. As Jeff always says, he's like, I've got a lot of ideas, but no artistic ability. So yeah, did that answer the question? Okay.
Yeah. And I think I will just kind of throw in that, you talk with the client, you relay that to the apprentices, but it really is the apprentices who are coming up with these designs. Yeah. And most of the groups, depending on size and year, will come up with, a couple designs to present, so that, there's some options. It's not sort of a one and done. So.
Right. And we have a constant conversation that whole first week. So I try not to be a huge influence on what they do, but we do talk about composition and why things should be placed in certain areas. Mm-hmm. We all look at it with all of our eyeballs and kind of figure out how it's going to work. But I try to emphasize all the time when people say, I like your mural. I'm like, that's not my mural. Like, I just guided them through a process and led them through the process. That's all them, so always give that Metro apprentices 100% credit for all of that. So.
Yeah. Well, I will also say that, and I think Jeff had a very similar conversation with you about this, is that for me, because, we get to visit all of these sites and see them, throughout this process. That, when it first starts going on the wall, I look at this and go, I have no idea how this is going to come together. And then it's just kind of sketched out. It's very flat. And then really it's that last 2 weeks where all of a sudden you're adding all this shading and contouring and really just embellishing. And I'm just blown away because it really comes to life. And I share this experience because we know that there's going to be a second part to this. So you'll be able to see that other side come to life. So for anybody who has that time, I would encourage you, once a week over the next few weeks to just, drive down Friendship Manor or by Friendship Manor on 21st Avenue there, and just to watch the process come together, because that alone is really, really impressive.
You can see too, Kevin, we've already got some of the drawing going on to the other side of the building. So that process has already started. So this crew really had a lot of work. It was, I'm sure they were overwhelmed at times with the priming and then getting one wall completely done. And then I had a few people over there also getting the drawing started for that second crew to come in. But so people could, if they drove by now, could see that drawing process is already happening.
Yeah. And I think we've got a quick little video about the Friendship Manor mural to just, kind of show, I think it'll help show the kind of the magnitude of the project. But honestly, I think it's one of those things that takes some time to drive past there because it's very large. So Maddie and Sarah, I'll let you go ahead and just kind of, I guess narrate this a little bit and talk about this process. So.
Ooh. That's not us, but it's okay.
Not us, but yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So it was interesting that the design process, because we had so much work to do, they did a lot of design at home. So I have to give them a lot of credit for the amount of work that they all had to do on their own. As Maddie knows from years before, that's usually not the case. Usually we're doing all the design work, on site or, at the Pigeon or wherever we might be. So I just want to give credit to that as well. They put a lot of hours in. Oh, that balloon. I think everybody and their grandmother worked on that. Maggie and her rocks, Maddie. The rock queen.
Mm.
We hated every single one of those rocks.
Wow.
I think it
And
was
then
mostly
scaffolding.
Liam and Chloe that were doing balloons.
The
like, for
balloons,
most-
a lot of that, yeah. And then scaffolding, we didn't talk about scaffolding. So this is the most scaffolding we've ever used. And once we were done in Moline, we actually brought over the two yellow ones that Quad City Arts owned. So we were in the last week, we're working with 4 different sets of scaffolding. So it was pretty intense.
Wow.
Yay!
Yeah. And I think the one thing that video doesn't show is the other half of that building.
Right.
So
Right.
and I will like credit to this group, because that was a very large space, and to prime that was a job in itself. So.
And they worked the afternoons, which is, they were normally hired to do the morning. So they were troopers, even to switch their schedules for us, which was great. But then there we are, right in the heat of everything in the mid-afternoon. And so it got really hot, but we did have a hose. We used the hose a lot.
Definitely use that, yeah.
You'd spray it up and then it just kind of rain down on you. It felt so good.
Right, and Sarah would like constantly be spraying people, and then we would think it was raining, and she'd get her hopes up because we really wanted it to rain to cool us down, but it never was.
And squirt bottles for your friend.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little hot out there, but they made it happen. They made it work.
Excellent. Well, it looks really incredible. Couple questions before.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Oh wow! And that's not even the final picture.
I was gonna say, I was wondering. I mean, because there's a couple more things that you guys we're finishing up, correct?
Yeah, we finished up today. Actually, they put in 2 additional days this week to get it done. It's supposed to be Monday, Wednesday, but of course Wednesday it rained all day, so we switched it to today. And yeah, we finished about, what time was it? About 2?
2, yeah, it was 2.
So they were there from 8:30 until 2 o'clock today getting
Wow.
it done. So those clouds you see up in the sky, those are now painted. And just some final little touches here and there. There's a deer back in those trees now. Yeah, that was a special request from Jeff.
Oh, nice.
So
I
yeah.
can definitely say that there's more bushes.
Oh
Much
yeah.
more bushes.
This girl here, Miss Maddie, we called her our Bob Ross. Because she was the bush person. Like, all the bushes you see on that mural are all Maddie.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She was channeling Bob Ross very much.
Little happy
I really
trees
was.
here,
Little happy bushes over here.
yeah, happy bush.
I'm pretty sure I was annoying everybody with my Bob Ross quotes, but it got done, so.
Once in a while, I look over, she's like smacking the wall with her brush. I'm like, that's an interesting technique.
I mean, if it works.
It's my only technique,
Right.
honestly.
And she's like, guys, I'm not really doing anything. I'm just smacking the wall with paint. I'm like, okay, well, it's working.
Yeah.
They look beautiful. They look so pretty. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you both. I got a couple final questions. One thing, Maddie, do you what are your hobbies outside of painting?
At Scott, I'm in theater. I don't really act in the plays, but I do like to help with like set design, and I watch them do improv a lot there too. And Chloe's actually a part of that as well. I like to read a lot. I like to play Animal Crossing a lot.
Excellent.
Mostly just art, yeah, honestly.
Perfect. Well, Maddie and Sarah, is there anything else that you'd like to share before we move on to 7 with Kevin?
Maybe it's just a shout out to our crew if they're watching right now, since we all couldn't be together for this. I already said hi to my mom. How many more times do I have to say hi to my mom?
Yeah, I'm gonna give a shout out to Shelby because she was complaining, saying, "Oh, if Maddie's not there, I'm gonna cry," and yet here I am, and she's not. I'm the one crying.
Oh, excellent.
I love it.
we'll end with one final lightning round. So Sarah, I can either skip you or you can just start making up answers. So your call. So.
Oh, I'm sure I'll have like a second choice, a second option.
Okay, perfect. All right, Maddie, we're gonna start with you. What are you currently watching on Netflix or TV?
I'm watching My Name is Earl and Parks and Recreation right now.
My gosh, both are great. Sarah, do you want to throw something else out?
Yeah, I've been strangely like my before I go to bed show. I've been watching Cheers from like the beginning till yeah. I'm on like third season right now, but my God, it's such a great show.
I've seen the entirety of that show.
Oh, it's so good. Yay.
All right, Maddie, Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Excellent. Maddie, where is the best pizza in the Quad Cities?
Oh, I think Sarah will agree with me on this one. It's definitely Huckleberry's. We just had it today.
It was so good.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. That was amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, Jeff. That was a nice.
That is
nice
awesome.
touch.
Excellent. Maddie, you said you were an avid reader, so what is your favorite book?
I guess it would be the one I'm reading right now, which is Wicked, the prequel to The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, that's my favorite right now.
Oh, nice.
Excellent. Sarah, do you have another favorite book you want to share?
Oh, I always do the influence ones because that's what got me reading. So I think it was in like 8th or 9th grade, Anne Frank. Oh, I just could not. I think I like talked about it for at least a year after I read it. It was such a big influence in my life. So anyway, that's a good one.
Yeah. Maddie, where is your go-to place for inspiration?
Instagram, honestly. But a physical place, I actually really love downtown Rock Island because it's such an art hub. There's art everywhere. Murals, statues, everything. So
yes,
it's really beautiful down there.
There's also this great gallery, Quad City Arts. I don't know if you guys heard of it.
I've never heard of them. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Maddie, we'll have to go check it out this weekend.
Yeah, just if you in the area. So.
Just bring that Quad City Arts.
All right, I'm going to alter this one a little bit for you, Maddie. What do you want to do? What do you want to do after you finish school?
Well, if in a perfect world, I'd really want to be like only a muralist. I really found like my love for painting murals in this program. But other than that, I'm considering becoming a pharmacy tech as like my main job, and then a muralist as like a side job.
Excellent. And final question, if you could have dinner with any artist, living or dead, who would it be?
Frida Kahlo. I love her so much. She's so cool. She's like, I love her so much. I'm sorry. I don't have words.
I said Rivera earlier, so that would be quite the little party there.
Yeah, no joke.
And Kevin, I got a good one for you. Bill Murray.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Can you imagine?
One they can make happen. I mean.
Oh, Bill Murray. He's so cool.
So, well, if he's watching, we'll let him know.
Bill Murray,
anytime.
Let's do it. Let's have a.
Let's get him on 7 for Kevin, please.
Oh my God. Bill, if you're listening, open invitation anytime you want. So.
You never know, Kevin. You never know.
Excellent. Well, Sarah and Maddie, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for talking to me. Thank you for all your hard work in Rock Island. Again, I've had such a good time tonight. I think I could do this for at least another hour. So thank you.
One more thing, Kevin. Can we not follow comedy improv ever again?
Yeah.
Oh,
please.
I know. There's a reason in the showcase we make them go last. So I'll take note for next year.
I never after them, but they did an amazing job. They did great. That was. Yes. I had to say that.
Excellent. Well, Sarah, Maddie, again, thank you so much, and thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. I do want to give a quick shout out. So all of these projects would not be possible without our sponsors and donors. So big thank you to our sponsors, City of Rock Island, Friendship Manor, Modern Woodmen of America, the Moline Foundation, and Renew Moline. And also our Quad City Arts partners. To become a Quad City Arts partner today and support great programs like the Metro Arts Youth Apprenticeship Program, you can donate at our website, quadcityarts.com. Again, none of this would be possible without partners like you. I want to thank our Quad City Arts team. This was a complicated episode to put together, but they have done a fantastic job. And just everything that they have done behind the scenes, not only for 7 with Kevin, but everything that we've got going on right now and making the Metro Arts program a reality and a possibility. So, and thank all of you for watching, tuning in, asking questions. It's been a pleasure. So thank you. Don't forget, if you're not following us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, please do so. And you can visit our website to learn more. Also, keep an eye on our Facebook page. We'll be posting some of the Metro Arts Improv videos on there so that you can tune in and see those. Our next 7 with Kevin, we're going to take a couple weeks break. We're going to be back on August 6th. We are going to be talking with David Van Allen and Ron Meyer. They are currently on exhibit at Quad City Arts in Rock Island, as well as on our website. So again, that'll be August 6th at 7 p.m. We'll have plenty of updates leading up to that to remind you. So thank you all so much for tuning in, and we will see you next time on 7 with Kevin Live.